Katherine Abughazaleh is not a mess.
I'm a very meticulous person.
But the morning of August 14th,
I cannot stress how much vomit was on my sheets and on myself.
she woke up to a different story.
I had pots and pans strewn everywhere.
With a chapter missing.
I've been doing a part-time shift as a bartender over at a bar in DuPont, and I got off early, so I thought I'm gonna have a drink at a bar nearby me. I had a glass of Prosecco and one shot, and I had someone offer to walk me home, and the next thing I knew, I woke up in my bed covered in vomit. That was it. I have no idea what happened in between.
How do you fill in that blank?
I hate thinking about it. I lost 8 hours, I guess.
The prior night's blackout stretched to a gray, foggy day.
It was like the worst hangover of my life, and I felt so ashamed.
Shame is a pretty intense feeling to have.
The only thing I could think of was I did something stupid.
Did you know the person who walked you home?
No.
Any concern about that?
Yes.
After a few days, concerned enough to call her doctor.
She was like, that doesn't sound like a hangover to me. That sounds like someone slipped something in your drink.
Something may have occurred that should not have occurred.
Dr. Romas Boividas did not treat Katherine, but the clinical counselor with American Addiction Centers knows her symptoms.
It's very hard to track. The symptoms are going to mimic alcohol intoxication.
The National Office on Women's Health describes typical drugged drink symptoms, things like dizziness or difficulty speaking or moving. And the typical drugs used impact people differently and pass through the body quickly.
That's the problem with some of these drugs. They won't be detectable in your urine or your blood.
It is often hard to prove.
And in that shadow of doubt, Dr. Suzanne Swan says victims get lost.
It is more common than most people realize.
The University of South Carolina psychologists surveyed more than 6,000 college students in 2016. Almost 8% said they believe they had their drink spiked at some point, most never seeing a doctor or reporting it. And people who responded they had drugged someone often said it was just for fun.
People just sort of don't think about the potential consequences.
Why didn't you file a police report?
At that point, I had peed out whatever was in my system. I had purged it. I didn't have any chemical proof.
But she did share her story on Twitter.
I knew that if I shared those things, maybe if this happened to a person who read it, that they would go to the hospital instead. And even if it only reached like 100 people, that would make it totally worth it.
Instead,
here are some of the symptoms of a spiked drink that I wish I knew beforehand and was never told.
She reached nearly 200,000.
The same thing happened to me in undergrad about 1 million years ago. This can happen to all of us. This happened to me. My bank account was empty after lots of 500 withdrawals. People saying that I didn't know this information, or I had kids and I told them about the dangers of this. People just don't believe men or women when they talk about this, because they say, oh, you were just drinking too much and you want to have an excuse. And this is not me giving a free pass to everyone to do whatever they want. But if you think something is wrong, trust your gut a bit.
Finding a truth in her lost hours.
It's not your fault, but you need to know what happens when or if it does happen.
Abby Larico, WUSA 9.
That is a scary thing, but hopefully this information will empower you. We've got more information on the symptoms and the side effects of consuming spiked drinks and resources for anyone who needs help, and you'll find all of that on our WUSA 9 app and website.